Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share some Rampart tips with you guys so you guys can have a better time playing Rampart. So I've been playing her the last few weeks since she launched, and I have gathered some few tips, research done by myself while playing, and also courtesy of some other YouTubers. I'm gonna go in order of her abilities, starting from her passive, then her tactical, and then her ultimate. So let's start with our first tips. That is going to be about her passive. Passive suggests that LMGs take more ammo and shorter reload time with the devotion coming out. And Spitfire, if you try to use it, I've personally felt that it's become a little better. Or L-Star overheats after a much longer time of using it. So with Rampart, this is actually a beast of a weapon. When you combine it with the Rampart, these weapons are way more devastating than they ever were. So I highly recommend you use one of the LMGs as your primary weapons. So now coming over to her tactical ability, the amped cover. Most of these are about the amped cover and they are in no particular order. So let's get started with the first one. And a cover is weaker to grenades, so make sure that you pair yourself with the Watson who can just set up a pylon behind your cover, just absorb all the incoming grenade fire. Also, the cover blocks bullets, but it does not block grenade. So if you are just sitting behind the cover and somebody throws a grenade, don't expect it to be blocked because the cover is not going to block it. Second tip is about blocking doors. So covers are very effective in blocking doors actually, though some might say that you can actually easily jump over it. But if you block a door and if you try to jump over it, you will not actually be able to jump over it unless you do a slide jump and do it very accurately. What generally would happen is if somebody's trying to jump over, they would just get stuck between the top of the door and your amped cover, and for that split second they would have to kind of crouch walk and they would be really slow, so it's very easy to beam them. So you guys can definitely take advantage of that. Now, other than blocking doors and letting people from coming inside, you can also do is if someone is sitting inside a building, you can set up the cover from outside, from a window or even from a door that is open, and you can beam them inside itself. Also, another tip for blocking doors is try to pair it with Watson fences. Just place Watson fence right behind the cover, so it will be difficult to shoot the base of the Watson fence and deactivate it. Plus, even if someone sneakily slide jumps over the fence, they'll still get tased by the Watson fence, and you will easily be able to beam them again. When you're taking fire or you're in the middle of a gunfight and you take a little bit of damage, just do not panic and try and place your wall down instantly, as your weapon will be holstered. You will be at a walking speed, and also when you try to place your cover down, it takes some time to load, and at that moment, anybody can one shot the cover and break it. So it's not a very good idea to just place it when you're taking fire. What you can do instead is sometimes if you place a cover, some people are eager to shoot it down, or some people might see the cover setting up, so they might assume that you are somewhere behind and around that cover. What you can do is use this as a distraction, change your position, change your angle of view, and then beam them from another side from where they will not be expecting you at all. I'm not sure if it's a glitch or it actually works, but I've seen clips where it's seen that caustic gas is actually blocked by an amped wall, so you can just use it to block basically. Even if the wall is broken, the amp part of the wall is broken, you can still take cover behind it. Still a good place to take cover, because if you crouch, your head won't be seen over the cover, so you have to just stay really stuck to the cover. And it's a good place to res also, and it's a decent cover even after the amp is broken. One last tip about the amped wall is that if you place an amped wall and you see an enemy pushing you, and you guys are doing back and forth around the cover, just make sure you do not go to the wrong side of the cover. And if your enemy comes to the place where they can amp their bullets, and you will not be able to shoot them at all, whereas they will be able to shoot you with amped bullets. So it's better to just back off and take a different angle or fight in a different spot rather than just fighting around the cover, because I have died to this many times, and probably so would you have. That's all for the amped cover. Now let's talk about her ultimate, Sheila. First and foremost, if you use Sheila, there's it's a little complicated to understand at first. So there's a button to toggle her zoom, and you just have to press it once to activate the zoom and deactivate the zoom. You must be knowing that it has a charge of time kind of, but you can pre-charge it if you use your right mouse button or whatever button you have to ADS. It actually starts pre-charging it, so you can immediately fire as soon as you spot an enemy. So as Rampart has more bullets with LMGs, it's also true with Sheila. If your teammates are using Sheila, they will have 150 bullets, but if Rampart is using Sheila, she will have, I think, around 175 bullets, and also her reload speed on Sheila is faster. If Sheila, your minigun, has not taken damage, then you can pick her up and you can get 50% of your ult charge back. Best way to use Sheila and your amped cover is first you have to place down your amp cover and then place down Sheila, because you are a stagnant target, and if somebody sees at you from a different angle, you can actually be beamed very easily by the time you get off Sheila. Then it's better that you prepare yourself at choke points. You know that enemies are going to be coming through, and you can totally set up with amp cover from multiple angles, one Sheila, and your teammates poking in from another angle, and you can really beam a whole team when they come through that choke point. Other than that, you really advisable that you use Sheila and your amped cover in open fields. There's a lot of open areas where there's less rocks and less cover. So if the circle is closing in, somebody's trying to come into the circle and running through an open field, you can really pressurize them into bad positions. If you won't be able to beam them, you'll definitely put them in a bad position that your team can pick them off, or you can then take a better rotation quickly, better angle, and then beam them again. Quick tip on the turret: it breaks down doors in one bullet. So if somebody's blocking the door, you can quickly place down your turret and just beam them through the door. Okay, so this is the last tip. Basically involves placing your amp cover and your turret together. So whenever you place your turret or your amp cover, just make sure that you are covering all angles from which an enemy team can third party you, because you can place five of them. So just make sure you either place one in front and one behind, or covering any doors if you're on a rooftop, because if somebody just pops in, they can easily beam you from behind, and this will definitely prevent them from shooting at you from ranges or even blocking doors, so they won't be able to push in as effectively. Okay, so guys, that was all the tips that I found when I was playing with Sheila, and some I have borrowed from other creators. If you guys have any more tips that you would like the community to know, do put them down in the comment section so everybody can have a better time playing Rampart. And if you enjoy this kind of content, do consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. And until next time, stay awesome.